Most seniors are treating the symptoms, not the system. My doctor told me. That single insight led me to discover the root cause of my fatigue and the natural reset that gave me back my energy. Back then, I was waking up tired, eating without appetite, and walking through each day like I was recovering from an invisible illness. I thought it was just part of getting older, but it wasn't. It all traced back to one system: quiet, hidden, but in control of everything: my nervous system. And what surprised me most wasn't just how central this system is, but how early it starts crying out for help. I had missed the warning signs: the unexplained fatigue that lingered even after a full night's sleep, the itching that came and went without reason, the sudden mood swings that made no sense at all. I thought I was just getting old. But in truth, these were signals: my nervous system quietly saying, I'm overwhelmed. I need space to breathe. That's when I started looking deeper. What I found was both frustrating and hopeful. Frustrating because so much of what we're told to do, more pills, more supplements, more stimulation, doesn't address the root of the problem. Medications often silence the symptoms, but leave the overloaded system untouched. And over time, that system keeps wearing down: slower reflexes, heavier thoughts, more disconnection from our own body. But here's the hopeful part. Your nervous system isn't broken, it's just tired. And just like a phone battery that loses charge faster with age, it needs the right care to hold power again. Not more pressure, not quick fixes, but a reset, a gentle return to rhythm. In this video, I want to take you through that reset, step by step. We'll begin by exploring how your nervous system functions like an inner battery and why it starts to drain faster after 60, even when you're doing everything right. From there, we'll revisit the subtle warning signs that so many seniors brush off or misunderstand, and uncover the reason why conventional medicine often fails to bring real relief. Then, I'll show you how the reset actually begins. It starts with something as simple as deep breathing in the morning, a practice that, when done right, tells your body it's safe and turns off the inner alarm bells. We'll also talk about the forgotten role of sunlight, not just for bones or mood, but for regulating your nervous system in ways most people never realize. You'll learn which foods nourish the brain and restore nerve health from within, how quality sleep becomes the repair shop your nervous system depends on, and why journaling at bedtime can calm mental static better than most therapies. Finally, I'll guide you through a full 24-hour reset plan, a simple, realistic way to support your nervous system from morning to night, using nothing but your breath, your attention, and the rhythms already built into your day. Because aging doesn't have to mean surrendering your energy. Fatigue is not a sign of failure. It's a message. And when you start to listen, everything changes. So let's begin by understanding why your nervous system might already be running low and what you can do today to start recharging it. Your nervous system is like an inner battery, and it's running low. Have you ever wondered why you feel more drained now than you did at 50, even though you're doing all the right things? The answer lies in your nervous system, the silent power source that controls every thought, movement, and bodily function. Like a battery that loses its charge capacity over time, your nervous system gradually slows with age, and this affects everything from your energy levels to how quickly you react to things around you. Your nervous system is made up of billions of nerve cells that send signals at lightning speed when you're young. But with age, these signals slow down. Studies show that nerve transmission becomes about 15% slower after 60. This isn't just about feeling a little more tired, it changes how your body functions. Your reflexes weaken, making simple movements like catching a falling object or keeping your balance more difficult. You might notice that you stumble more often, or that it takes longer to process conversations. These aren't random signs of aging. They're signals that your nervous system is struggling to keep up. Think of it like an old phone battery. When it's new, it charges quickly and holds power all day. But after years of use, it drains faster and takes longer to recharge. Your nervous system works the same way. The connections between your neurons weaken over time, making every task, whether physical or mental, require more effort. This is why you might feel exhausted after tasks that used to be effortless, like gardening or even following a complex discussion. What many people don't realize is that this slowdown isn't inevitable in the way we assume. Yes, some change is normal, but much of what we call aging is actually a nervous system that's been pushed to its limits and hasn't been given the right support to recover. For example, chronic stress, poor sleep, and even certain medications can further strain your nerves, making them lose efficiency even faster. The nervous system isn't just slowing down, it's being worn down. The good news? You can change this. Just as a phone battery can last longer with proper care, your nervous system can function better when given the right conditions. It starts with recognizing the subtle signs that your nerves need attention, like that extra second it takes to react, the unexplained fatigue after minor exertion, or the occasional brain fog that wasn't there before. These aren't just quirks of getting older. They're signs that your inner battery is running low and needs a reset. So what's the solution? It's not about pushing harder or chasing quick fixes. Instead, it's about working with your body's natural rhythms and giving your nervous system the tools it needs to recover. Simple, daily habits like deep breathing, sunlight exposure, and targeted nutrition can help recharge your nerves just as effectively as plugging in a drained phone. The key is consistency. Small, steady actions add up to significant improvements in how your nervous system functions. The first step is understanding the changes happening beneath the surface. Once you see your nervous system as your body's control center, one that needs regular maintenance, you can start making choices that support it. And that's where the real difference begins. Because when your nervous system functions well, everything else, energy, focus, mood, even digestion follows suit. So how do you hit the reset button? It starts first thing in the morning with a simple practice that takes just minutes but sets the tone for your whole day. Warning signs: itchy skin, fatigue, mood swings. That annoying itch on your scalp or sudden irritability might not be what you assume. These could be your nervous system's way of telling you it's overloaded. Your skin, gut, and mood are all directly wired to your nervous system. And when the system is strained, these areas often send the first distress signals. Many doctors dismiss these symptoms as just part of aging, but that overlooks what's really happening beneath the surface. Consider this. Your nervous system regulates every function in your body, from digestion to heart rate to how you perceive pain. When it's under constant stress, whether from emotional tension, poor sleep, or nutritional gaps, it starts sending out warning signs. An itch that won't go away, random fatigue in the middle of the day, or mood swings that seem out of character aren't random. They're like a circuit breaker tripping before the wiring overheats. Johns Hopkins research found that in 40% of seniors, unexplained itching is linked directly to nerve irritation, not dry skin or allergies. You might notice these symptoms flare up during stressful periods or when you're not sleeping well. That's not a coincidence. Your nervous system has two main modes: the rest and digest state, controlled by the parasympathetic system, and the fight or flight response, driven by the sympathetic system. When stress keeps you stuck in fight or flight, your nerves become hypersensitive. This can lead to itching, digestive discomfort, or feeling emotionally raw over small things. What many people don't realize is that these symptoms often show up long before more serious issues like chronic pain or memory problems develop. Take mood swings, for example, and it's easy to blame them on hormones or a bad day, but they can also signal an overworked nervous system. Your gut has its own network of neurons, often called the second brain, that communicates constantly with your central nervous system. When this connection is disrupted by stress or inflammation, it can affect your mood as directly as any neurotransmitter imbalance. Similarly, fatigue that doesn't improve with rest might mean your autonomic nervous system is struggling to regulate your energy efficiently. What's frustrating is how often these signals get misinterpreted. A doctor might prescribe a cream for the itching or a sleep aid for the fatigue without addressing the nervous system strain behind them. It's like silencing a smoke alarm instead of checking for the source of the smoke. The key is recognizing that these seemingly small symptoms are part of a larger pattern. They're your body's way of whispering that something is off before it starts screaming with more severe problems. The good news, you don't need to wait for a crisis to address this. Simple. Daily habits can calm an overactive nervous system and reduce these symptoms. For instance, gentle touch or warm compresses can soothe irritated nerves in the skin, while magnesium-rich foods can help ease the tense, wired feeling that leads to mood swings. Even something as straightforward as pausing for 3 deep breaths when you notice irritability rising can interrupt the stress cycle and reset your nervous response. The trick is to pay attention to these early signs rather than brushing them aside. If you've ever dismissed that nagging itch or written off your fatigue as just part of getting older, try tracking when these symptoms appear. You might notice they cluster around stressful events or poor sleep nights, clear clues that your nervous system is struggling. Listening to these whispers now can prevent your body from resorting to louder, more disruptive ways of getting your attention later. This isn't about adding more medications to mask symptoms. It's about giving your nervous system what it actually needs to recalibrate: better stress management, deeper rest, and targeted nutrition. When you address the root cause, those odd itches, energy crashes, and mood shifts often improve on their own. The body is remarkably good at repairing itself when given the right conditions. So the next time you feel an unexplained symptom, ask yourself, could this be my nervous system asking for help? That shift in perspective alone can change how you respond. Instead of reaching for a quick fix, you might choose a walk outside, an earlier bedtime, or a few minutes of quiet breathing, all simple acts that support your nerves rather than overwhelm them. The good news, you can start soothing this overload today without a single pill. Sometimes the smallest adjustments make the biggest difference in how your nervous system, and by extension, your entire body functions. And that's where we're headed next. Why medications often fail. Nervous system repair. Here's the uncomfortable truth about nervous system healing: medications often fall short because they target symptoms, not the root cause. Imagine your nervous system as a complex network of wires. When one part malfunctions, pills might temporarily silence the alarms, like muffling a beeping smoke detector, but they don't fix the faulty wiring. This is why so many seniors cycle through sleep aids, antidepressants, and nerve medications, only to find their fatigue, pain, or brain fog returning. The relief is fleeting because the underlying system remains strained. The Mayo Clinic reports that 60% of seniors take medications that inadvertently worsen nervous system function. Sleeping pills might knock you out, but they disrupt the deep, restorative sleep stages your brain needs for repair. Antidepressants can blunt emotional lows, but may also dampen the vagus nerve's ability to regulate your heart rate and digestion. This isn't to dismiss medication's role. It's vital for acute crises, but to highlight its limitations for long-term nervous system restoration. It's like trying to recharge a dying phone by propping it up instead of plugging it in. The posture looks correct, but no energy flows. Consider how medications interact with aging nerves. After 60, your nervous system already faces natural challenges. Nerve cells shrink, signal speed slows, and repair mechanisms weaken. Adding medications that sedate nerves or alter neurotransmitter levels can further confuse an already struggling system. For example, anticholinergic drugs common in allergy meds, sleep aids, and some antidepressants block acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter for memory and muscle control. This might quiet overactive nerves temporarily, but over time, it starves the system of a crucial communication tool. The result, a nervous system that's chemically silenced but no healthier. What many people don't realize is that nervous system strain often stems from lifestyle factors no pill can fix. Chronic stress, poor sleep, lack of sunlight, and nutrient deficiencies keep your nerves stuck in a stressed, inflamed state. Medications might mask the discomfort, but they don't address why your nervous system is overreacting in the first place. Imagine your nerves are like a crowded room where everyone's shouting, Pills turn down the volume, but they don't reduce the number of people or calm their panic. Only lifestyle changes can do that. There's another problem with relying solely on medications. They can't replicate your body's innate wisdom. Your nervous system is designed to self-regulate if given the right conditions. Sunlight tells your brain when to release cortisol and melatonin. Deep breathing activates the vagus nerve to lower your heart rate. Omega-3s from food rebuild nerve cell membranes. These natural signals and nutrients work precisely because they speak your nervous system's native language. Pills, by contrast, are like using a translator app for a conversation your body already knows how to have. This doesn't mean you should abandon medications without consulting your doctor, but it does suggest why combining them with nervous system supportive habits often works better than pills alone. A sleep aid might help you fall asleep, but morning sunlight exposure ensures your body naturally produces melatonin at the right time tomorrow. An antidepressant may boost serotonin, but omega-3s and magnesium help your nerves use it efficiently. The distinction is crucial. Medications supply what your body lacks in the moment, while lifestyle changes rebuild its ability to function independently. The nervous system's reliance on rhythm and balance explains why medications struggle to restore it fully. Your nerves thrive on consistency, regular sleep times, steady nutrient intake, predictable cycles of activity and rest. Pills can't provide this regularity. They're one-time interventions in a system that requires daily, hourly care. Think of it like watering a plant. A medication is a single splash, but lasting health comes from consistent moisture, sunlight, and good soil. One approach treats a symptom, the other nurtures the entire organism. This isn't just theory. Research shows that seniors who combine medication with nervous system supportive habits like diaphragmatic breathing, early morning light exposure, and anti-inflammatory diets report better outcomes than those relying solely on prescriptions. Their nerves aren't just quieter, they're genuinely healthier. The difference lies in addressing the system, not just its complaints. True healing happens when medications are part of a larger strategy rather than the entire solution. So where does this leave us? Not at the rejection of modern medicine, but at a more nuanced understanding of its role. Medications can be invaluable for acute relief, like resetting a tripped circuit, but rebuilding nervous system health requires the daily practices that keep the wiring intact. It's the difference between treating a fire alarm and addressing the overheating toaster that triggered it. One stops the noise, the other prevents future emergencies. And that shift in approach from silencing symptoms to supporting the system changes everything. The trick is to pay attention to these early signs rather than brushing them aside. If you've ever dismissed that nagging itch or written off your fatigue as just part of getting older, try tracking when these symptoms appear. You might notice they cluster around stressful events or poor sleep nights, clear clues that your nervous system is struggling. Listening to these whispers now can prevent your body from resorting to louder, more disruptive ways of getting your attention later. This isn't about adding more medications to mask symptoms. It's about giving your nervous system what it actually needs to recalibrate: better stress management, deeper rest, and targeted nutrition. When you address the root cause, those odd itches, energy crashes, and mood shifts often improve on their own. The body is remarkably good at repairing itself when given the right conditions. So the next time you feel an unexplained symptom, ask yourself, could this be my nervous system asking for help? That shift in perspective alone can change how you respond. Instead of reaching for a quick fix, you might choose a walk outside, an earlier bedtime, or a few minutes of quiet breathing, all simple acts that support your nerves rather than overwhelm them. The good news: you can start soothing this overload today without a single pill. Sometimes the smallest adjustments make the biggest difference in how your nervous system, and by extension, your entire body functions. And that's where we're headed next. Deep breathing, the morning reset switch. Here's the morning reset your nervous system has been waiting for: 3 minutes of intentional breathing. It sounds too simple to work, but deep breathing directly interrupts the stress cycle that leaves you feeling drained. Think about how you breathe when stressed: short, Shallow breaths high in the chest. Now imagine doing that all day, every day. That's what happens when chronic stress locks your nervous system in overdrive, like a car engine that never turns off. Over time, this shallow breathing becomes your default, starving your cells of oxygen and keeping your body in a perpetual state of alert. Most people don't realize their breathing has changed with age. The muscles involved in deep diaphragmatic breathing weaken, and stress encourages chest breathing. The result: your body remains stuck in fight or flight, even when there's no real threat. This is where intentional deep breathing makes all the difference. When you take slow, controlled breaths, you activate the vagus nerve, the communication superhighway between your brain and body. This nerve sends signals to your heart, lungs, and digestive system, telling them it's safe to relax. A USC study found that just 3 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing can lower cortisol, your primary stress hormone, by 20%. That's more effective than many quick fix stress relief methods. But there's a catch. Most people do this wrong. They either breathe too fast, too shallow, or don't engage their diaphragm fully. The key is to breathe deeply into your belly, not just your chest. Try this: place one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach. As you inhale through your nose for a count of 4, focus on making the lower hand rise while the upper hand stays relatively still. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. This longer exhale is crucial. It triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, flipping the switch from stress to calm. Research shows this specific 4-6 breathing pattern optimizes heart rate variability, a marker of your nervous system's resilience. The benefits go beyond stress relief. A clinical trial with adults aged 65 to 80 found that slow-paced breathing didn't just reduce anxiety, it also lowered levels of amyloid beta in the blood, a protein linked to Alzheimer's risk. Participants who practiced guided slow breathing showed increased volume in memory-related brain regions, suggesting this simple habit might protect cognitive function. Mara Mather, a professor at the University of Southern California, explains, slow-paced breathing may be able to slow the early stages of Alzheimer's disease in adults who are still cognitively healthy. And unlike medications, breathing carries no side effects, just deeper relaxation and clearer focus. You might wonder why morning is the ideal time for this practice. Overnight, your body cycles through repair processes, and cortisol naturally spikes around wake-up time to help you rise alert. Controlled breathing calibrates this cortisol release, preventing the jittery, rushed feeling many experience in the morning. Think of it like gently waking up your nervous system instead of shocking it with caffeine or sudden activity. Just 3 minutes sets a calm, focused tone for your entire day, much like resetting a misaligned clock. Some notice immediate changes: less mental fog, steadier energy, even improved digestion. That's because deep breathing doesn't just affect your brain, it influences every system connected to the vagus nerve, including gut function and inflammation levels. Others see gradual shifts over weeks: better sleep, fewer mood swings, and heightened resilience to stress. Consistency matters more than duration. Even on busy days, those 3 minutes pay dividends. Here's the simplest way to start: pair it with an existing habit. Breathe deeply while waiting for your coffee to brew or right after brushing your teeth. Morning light enhances the effect, so face a window if possible. If your mind wanders, count your breaths or focus on the rise and fall of your abdomen. No need for perfect silence or special equipment, just you and your breath. What many don't realize is that shallow breathing isn't just a symptom of stress, it perpetuates it. Every deep breath breaks that cycle, signaling safety to a frazzled nervous system. Over time, this practice rewires your stress response, making you less reactive to daily triggers. Your body learns that it doesn't need to stay braced for threats. It can relax, recharge, and function as intended. Morning deep breathing isn't about adding another task to your day. It's about transforming a basic biological function, one you're already doing, into a tool for nervous system repair. And unlike pills or supplements, it's always available, requires no prescription, and costs nothing. That's the power of working with your body instead of against it. Yet even this potent practice works best when paired with another critical repair process, one that happens while you sleep. Sunlight, the forgotten nervous system regulator. That afternoon walk in the sun does more than boost your vitamin D. It resets your nervous system's internal clock. Morning sunlight acts like a natural alarm for your body, signaling when to release cortisol to wake you up and when to produce melatonin to help you sleep. Without this daily cue, your nervous system loses its rhythm, like a watch that hasn't been wound in weeks. Northwestern University research shows that just 20 minutes of morning sunlight can improve sleep quality by 35%. That's because light exposure early in the day helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which governs not just sleep, but also digestion, mood, and even inflammation levels. Many seniors unintentionally miss this critical reset. Studies suggest adults over 60 get 60% less sunlight exposure than younger people, often due to spending more time indoors or having mobility challenges. This gradual withdrawal from natural light has consequences. Your eyes contain specialized cells that detect sunlight and send signals to your brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, the body's master clock. When these cells don't get enough morning light, your entire nervous system struggles to maintain its natural rhythms. You might notice this as trouble falling asleep, waking too early, or feeling groggy even after a full night in bed. The timing of light exposure matters more than most people realize. Morning sunlight, particularly within the first hour of waking, helps calibrate your cortisol curve, giving you steady energy throughout the day while preparing your body for rest later. But late-day sunlight, especially after 3 p.m., can delay melatonin production by several hours, making it harder to fall asleep. This isn't just about brightness. It's about the specific blue wavelengths in natural light that tell your brain whether it's time to be alert or to wind down. Artificial lighting and screens emit these same blue wavelengths at night, tricking your nervous system into thinking it's still daytime. What many don't realize is that sunlight's benefits go far beyond sleep. The same light-sensitive cells in your eyes also connect to brain regions that regulate mood. Research suggests regular morning light exposure can be as effective as some antidepressants for mild to moderate seasonal affective disorder, and it works year-round. Another often overlooked benefit is sunlight's effect on pain perception. A study in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that rheumatoid arthritis patients exposed to bright morning light reported significantly less pain than those in dim environments. This isn't just about feeling happier. It's about your nervous system's ability to modulate signals throughout your entire body. The good news, you don't need to spend hours outside to see benefits, even on cloudy days. Natural light is far brighter than indoor lighting, typically 10,000 lux compared to 500 lux in a well-lit room. Simply sitting near a sunny window during breakfast or taking a short walk around the block can provide enough light to reset your internal clock. If mobility is an issue, even standing on a balcony or porch for a few minutes helps. The key is consistency. Doing it daily trains your nervous system to expect light at the same time each morning, strengthening your circadian rhythm over time. One practical tip: don't wear sunglasses during your morning light exposure if it's safe. Avoid looking directly at the sun. The light-sensing cells in your eyes need unfiltered, natural light to send the strongest signals to your brain. Of course, protect your skin with sunscreen or clothing, but let your eyes absorb those early rays. If you live where winters are dark, consider a light therapy box that emits 10,000 lux. Just use it in the morning to mimic sunrise. Interestingly, sunlight also interacts with the deep breathing practice we discussed earlier. When you pair morning sunlight with slow, deliberate breaths, you amplify both benefits. The light sets your daily rhythm while the breathing lowers stress hormones together. They create a powerful reset for an overwhelmed nervous system. This combination is why many people feel more alert after a short outdoor walk than they do after an extra cup of coffee. The takeaway isn't that you need more sunlight, you need strategic sunlight, 10 to 30 minutes of morning light, ideally before 10 a.m. Splint can improve everything from your energy levels to pain sensitivity to how deeply you sleep. Like winding a watch, this daily habit keeps your nervous system running smoothly. And unlike supplements or medications, it's free, has no side effects, and becomes easier with practice. Your nervous system evolved over millennia to sync with natural light cycles. Modern life has disrupted that connection, but you can restore it with small, consistent actions. Tomorrow morning, try this. After waking, step outside or sit by a window and take 5 slow breaths while letting the light reach your eyes. That single act tells your nervous system it's daytime time to be alert, focused, and ready for whatever comes next. Now, let's talk about how specific foods can further support your nervous system's repair. Because while light and breath set the rhythm, what you eat provides the building blocks for nerve regeneration. Brain-feeding foods that repair nerves. That afternoon slump you assume is normal might actually be your nerves calling for specific nutrients. Your nervous system relies on particular building blocks to function well, especially as you age. Omega-3 fatty acids insulate nerve fibers. Vitamin B12 ensures signals transmit efficiently, and magnesium helps calm overactive nerves. Without enough of these, your nervous system struggles like a vintage car running on watered-down gasoline. It might still move, but not smoothly or reliably. The challenge is that aging bodies absorb these nutrients less effectively. Even if you eat well, your gut might not extract all the necessary components from food. For example, stomach acid decreases with age, making it harder to absorb B12 from meats and dairy. At the same time, modern diets often lack sufficient omega-3s and magnesium, leaving nerves without the materials they need for repair. Rush University researchers found that seniors following the MIND diet rich in leafy greens, berries, nuts, and fish had cognitive function equivalent to someone 7.5 years younger. This isn't just about eating healthy in a general sense. It's about targeting the specific nutrients your nervous system craves. Omega-3s found in fatty fish like salmon and sardines serve as the protective coating around nerve fibers, much like the rubber insulation on electrical wires. When this layer wears thin, signals between nerves become slower and less precise. You might notice this as slower reaction times, difficulty recalling words, or trouble concentrating. Research suggests that older adults with higher omega-3 levels maintain better brain volume in areas related to memory and learning. The MIND diet recommends fish at least once a week, but for nerve repair, twice weekly may be more beneficial. Vitamin B12 plays a different but equally critical role. It helps produce myelin, the substance that speeds electrical signals along nerves. Without enough B12, nerves start misfiring, leading to symptoms like numbness, tingling, or unexplained fatigue. Because absorption decreases with age, even meat eaters can become deficient. Eggs, dairy, and fortified foods provide B12, but many older adults benefit from a supplement to ensure adequate levels. A simple blood test can check your B12 status, though some experience nerve symptoms even when levels appear borderline normal. Magnesium acts as the nervous system's natural relaxant. It helps regulate the balance between excitation and calm, preventing nerves from becoming overactive. When magnesium runs low, you might feel twitchy muscles, restless legs at night, or heightened stress responses. Dark leafy greens, nuts, and seeds are excellent sources. But cooking methods matter. Boiling vegetables can leach out magnesium, while steaming preserves it. The MIND diet emphasizes these magnesium-rich foods daily, and for good reason. Studies link higher magnesium intake to better sleep quality and lower inflammation. Beyond these 3 key players, other nutrients matter just as much. Dark leafy greens provide lutein, an antioxidant that protects nerve cells from oxidative stress. Berries deliver flavonoids that improve communication between neurons. Olive oil offers healthy fats that reduce nerve inflammation. The MIND diet incorporates these foods not just for general health, but because research shows they actively support nerve function and cognitive longevity. It's less about restricting bad foods and more about ensuring enough of the right ones. Implementing these changes doesn't require a complete diet overhaul. Start with small, Sustainable shifts swap refined grains for whole grains to boost B vitamins. Add a handful of walnuts or almonds for magnesium. Include leafy greens in at least one meal daily. If you eat fish, choose salmon or mackerel over tilapia for higher omega-3 content. For those who don't like fish, flax seeds and chia seeds offer plant-based omega-3s, though the body converts these less efficiently. The key is consistency. Nerves rebuild slowly. Over months of steady nutrient support, you won't feel a difference overnight, but over time, improved focus, steadier energy, and better sleep often emerge. Think of it like refinishing old furniture. The first coat might not show dramatic results, but after several applications, the underlying structure regains its strength and luster. Your nervous system works the same way. Food alone isn't a magic cure, though even the best diet works best when paired with the other resets we've discussed: morning sunlight, deep breathing, quality sleep. Together, they create the conditions your nervous system needs to repair itself. But nutrition provides the raw materials, and without them, no amount of breathing or sleep can fully restore what's been depleted. The good news: unlike medications that mask symptoms, these foods address the root causes of nervous system strain. They don't just make you feel better temporarily, they help rebuild the underlying structures that keep your nerves functioning well for years to come. And that's an investment worth making at any age. Now, let's talk about what happens to your nervous system when you sleep, and why even the best nutrition can't compensate for missing this critical repair window. Sleep, your nervous system's built-in repair shop. Have you ever noticed how one poor night's sleep can leave you feeling years older the next morning? There's a biological reason for that. While you sleep, your brain undergoes essential maintenance that keeps your entire nervous system functioning. Deep sleep activates the glymphatic system, a network of channels that acts as your brain's cleanup crew. These channels flush out toxins like beta amyloid, a protein linked to dementia, that accumulate during waking hours. Think of it as taking out the neurological trash that builds up each day. This waste removal process is so crucial that when it doesn't happen properly, the effects show up quickly in your memory, mood, and energy levels. The problem is that after age 60, sleep naturally becomes more fragmented. You might wake up more frequently or struggle to reach the deep sleep stages where this critical cleaning occurs. Harvard research shows that seniors who regularly get less than 6 hours of sleep experience cognitive decline 30% faster than those who sleep longer. This isn't just about feeling groggy, it's about your brain's ability to maintain itself overnight. Imagine trying to clean your house while someone keeps interrupting you every few minutes. The job never gets finished properly, and gradually the mess builds up. That's exactly what happens to your brain when sleep is interrupted night after night. The glymphatic system's efficiency declines with age, according to research from Medline Plus. As we grow older, our brains lose nerve cells and overall weight, while waste products accumulate more easily. This natural slowdown is compounded by poor sleep habits, creating a perfect storm for cognitive decline. The same research notes that these accumulated waste products contribute to the formation of plaques and tangles in the brain, the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. What many people don't realize is that when you miss deep sleep, you're not just losing rest, you are missing your brain's only opportunity to complete this vital cleaning cycle. You might wonder why medications or supplements can't replace this process. The truth is, no pill can replicate what happens during quality sleep. While sleep aids might help you fall asleep, they often disrupt the very sleep stages your brain needs most for repair. Natural deep sleep triggers physical changes in your brain that allow cerebrospinal fluid to flow more freely between cells, washing away metabolic waste. This process simply can't be mimicked chemically. It requires your brain's own carefully orchestrated sleep cycles. The good news, small adjustments can make a significant difference in sleep quality. Keeping a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends, helps regulate your internal clock. Limiting fluids before bed reduces nighttime bathroom trips that interrupt deep sleep. Keeping your bedroom slightly cool around 65 degrees signals your body that it's time for rest. Perhaps most importantly, reducing blue light exposure in the evening helps maintain your natural melatonin production. allowing you to fall asleep more easily and stay asleep longer. What many people don't realize is how interconnected sleep is with the other nervous system resets we've discussed. Morning sunlight exposure helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Deep breathing before bed calms an overactive sympathetic nervous system that might otherwise keep you awake. The brain-healthy foods we talked about, particularly those rich in magnesium, support relaxation and sleep quality. These strategies work together to create the conditions your brain needs for uninterrupted, restorative sleep. You might notice the benefits of improved sleep sooner than you'd expect. Many people report feeling more clear-headed after just a few nights of better rest. Others notice improved mood and more stable energy throughout the day. Over time, consistent quality sleep can lead to better memory retention and slower cognitive decline. The key is viewing sleep not as lost time, but as essential maintenance your brain requires to function its best. The connection between sleep and nervous system health is so strong that sleep problems are often the first sign that something is off balance. That mid-afternoon crash, the difficulty concentrating, even increased sensitivity to pain, all can stem from poor sleep quality affecting your nervous system. Making sleep a priority isn't about getting more hours in bed. It's about ensuring the hours you do get are truly restorative. When you prioritize sleep, you're not just resting your body, you're allowing your nervous system the opportunity it needs to repair and regenerate. This nightly maintenance is just as crucial as the daily resets we've discussed, if not more so. Even if you implement every other nervous system support strategy perfectly, without adequate sleep, your progress will be limited. That's how fundamental this repair process is to your overall neurological health. Now, let's talk about another simple practice that can significantly improve your sleep quality and, by extension, your nervous system's recovery. Journaling before bed might sound like a small thing, but as you'll see, its effects on your nervous system can be surprisingly powerful. Journaling, the bedtime nervous system spa. Here's how a simple notebook can do what sleeping pills promise but rarely deliver. When you write down your worries before bed, you're not just making a list, you're signaling to your nervous system that it's safe to power down. Unfinished thoughts and unresolved concerns keep your brain in problem-solving mode, even as you try to sleep. This mental activity maintains low-level stress responses, elevated heart rate, tense muscles, and racing thoughts that interfere with deep, restorative sleep. Baylor University research found that just 10 minutes of journaling before bed reduces pre-sleep anxiety by 42%. That's more effective than many over-the-counter sleep aids, without the groggy side effects. Many older adults dismiss journaling as something for teenagers or writers, but they're missing its profound biological effects. The physical act of writing engages different parts of your brain than worrying silently in bed. Putting thoughts on paper forces you to organize them, which often reveals solutions or puts problems in perspective. This process is like closing browser tabs on an overheating computer. Each unresolved thought is another program running in the background, draining your mental resources. When you journal, you systematically close these tabs, freeing up processing power for what matters most: rest and recovery. There's a science to effective journaling for sleep. Problem-solving journaling, where you write concerns followed by possible solutions, works differently than gratitude journaling. Both help, but in distinct ways. Listing worries with potential actions reassures your nervous system that problems are being handled, reducing nighttime rumination. Gratitude journaling shifts your focus from stressors to positive experiences, lowering overall anxiety levels. Research suggests problem-solving journaling works best for people with specific worries keeping them awake. While gratitude journaling helps those with general anxiety, the key is consistency. Doing either practice nightly creates a mental transition ritual that tells your brain the day is over. Don't underestimate how physical this process is. Writing by hand rather than typing slows your thoughts enough to process them fully. This slower pace engages the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol levels as you write. The rhythmic motion of forming letters can even have a meditative effect, similar to the calming patterns of knitting or gardening. Many people find they fall asleep faster after journaling, because the activity naturally transitions their nervous system from alertness to relaxation. The content matters less than the act of externalizing thoughts. You don't need perfect grammar or complete sentences. Bullet points work just as well. Some find relief in brain dumping every thought onto paper, while others prefer structured prompts like, "What's weighing on me?" followed by, "What can I do about this tomorrow?" The important part is transferring thoughts from your mind to an external format where they feel contained. This separation is what allows your nervous system to disengage from daytime concerns. A study on older adults showed those who journaled at bedtime reported not just better sleep, but also improved daytime clarity, likely because their brains weren't processing yesterday's stressors while trying to handle today's. Timing makes a difference too. Journaling 30 to 60 minutes before bed gives your nervous system time to wind down afterward. Reading what you've written isn't necessary. Sometimes closing the notebook symbolizes mentally setting aside those concerns until morning. Those who struggle with middle-of-the-night wakefulness often benefit from keeping their journal bedside to capture any recurring thoughts immediately, preventing hours of tossing and turning. One unexpected benefit: journaling often reveals patterns in what triggers stress. Over weeks, you might notice certain concerns reappear consistently, pointing to unresolved issues worth addressing. Unlike sleeping pills that merely mask symptoms, journaling helps identify root causes of nighttime unrest, whether it's health worries, family tensions, or simply overcommitment. Recognizing these patterns enables long-term solutions rather than temporary fixes. Practical considerations help maintain the habit. A simple spiral notebook works fine, no need for expensive journals. Some find setting a timer for 5 to 10 minutes prevents overthinking or spending too much time on it. If writing feels daunting, even listing 3 concerns followed by 1 possible step for each can make a significant difference. The exercise isn't about solving everything before bed. It's about acknowledging worries so your nervous system doesn't have to hold them all night. The effects compound over time. After several nights, many find they need less time to achieve the same calming effect, as their brain learns to associate journaling with mental closure. Some report sleeping through the night for the first time in years, simply because their nervous system isn't constantly scanning for forgotten tasks or unresolved issues. Others notice decreased daytime anxiety, perhaps because writing each night prevents small concerns from accumulating into overwhelming stress. This practice works hand in hand with other nervous system resets. Journaling after your evening deep breathing session creates a powerful relaxation sequence. Pairing it with magnesium-rich foods at dinner enhances both strategies' calming effects. Unlike medications that artificially induce sleep, journaling helps restore your natural ability to transition from wakefulness to rest, a skill many lose with age due to accumulated stresses and changing brain chemistry. Here's the simplest way to start tonight. Write down 3 things on your mind before brushing your teeth. Don't overthink it, just note whatever thoughts feel most persistent. Then close the notebook literally and mentally. You might be surprised how much lighter you feel upon waking, when your nervous system hasn't spent the night wrestling with those same concerns. Small steps like this can profoundly impact how your body rests and repairs itself overnight. What modern medicine often misses is that many sleep issues aren't chemical imbalances needing correction. They're natural responses to unprocessed thoughts that journaling helps resolve naturally. The 24-hour nervous system reset plan. Here's how to structure your day to actively rebuild your nervous system. This isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about working with your body's natural rhythms to create lasting change. Start your morning with sunlight exposure and deep breathing. These 2 simple practices set your circadian rhythm and lower stress hormones, giving your nervous system the calm alertness it needs to function well. Within the first hour of waking, spend at least 10 minutes outside or by a sunny window while practicing slow, diaphragmatic breathing. This combination tells your body it's daytime while activating your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counterbalances stress. Your meals matter just as much as your morning routine. Focus on including foods that specifically support nerve health at each meal. Breakfast could be eggs for B12 and avocado for healthy fats. Lunch might include leafy greens for magnesium, and dinner could feature salmon for omega-3s. The Mind diet, which emphasizes green leafy vegetables, nuts, berries, and fish, has been shown to slow cognitive decline. At least one serving of leafy greens daily helps maintain nervous system function. These foods provide the raw materials your nerves need to repair themselves, while also reducing inflammation that can further strain your system. Movement throughout the day keeps your nervous system engaged without overwhelming it. 30 minutes of moderate activity walking, gardening, or gentle yoga helps maintain nerve connections and improve circulation to your brain. UCLA research shows that seniors following similar daily protocols reversed biological age markers by 3 years. The key is consistency, not intensity. Short, regular bouts of movement work better than occasional intense workouts that might stress an already overloaded system. Think of it like watering a plant little and often works better than occasional flooding. As afternoon transitions to evening, begin winding down. Limit screen time after dinner to reduce blue light exposure, which disrupts melatonin production. Journaling for 10 minutes before bed helps process the day's thoughts and concerns, preventing them from keeping you awake. Research shows this simple practice can reduce pre-sleep anxiety by 42%. Follow this with a calming activity like reading or light stretching. These signals tell your nervous system it's time to shift into repair mode, preparing you for deep, restorative sleep. Sleep itself is when the most critical nervous system repair happens. Aim for 7 to 8 hours, prioritizing consistency in your bedtime and wake time. During these hours, your brain clears waste products that accumulate during waking hours, a process vital for preventing cognitive decline. The glymphatic system, which does this cleaning, is most active during deep sleep. Even if you wake occasionally, maintaining the sleep window gives your body the best chance to complete these essential maintenance processes. What makes this approach different is its focus on working with your body's natural systems rather than fighting them. Medications can help with symptoms, but they don't address the underlying need for rhythm and balance that your nervous system requires. Sunlight regulates your internal clock. Nutrient-dense foods provide repair materials. Movement maintains connections between nerves. Sleep allows for cleanup and restoration. Each component supports the others, creating a cycle of renewal that becomes more effective with repetition. The beauty of this plan lies in its flexibility. Missed your morning sunlight? A short walk after lunch still helps. Couldn't journal one night? Try a 5-minute version. The goal isn't perfection, it's creating a sustainable rhythm that respects your nervous system's changing needs as you age. Small, consistent actions compound over time into significant improvements in how you feel and function. Your nervous system responds to patterns, not isolated events, which is why daily practice matters more than occasional perfect days. Many people find they notice changes within weeks: better energy, clearer thinking, improved sleep, but the most meaningful benefits accumulate over months and years. This daily rhythm protects against the gradual decline that's often mistaken for inevitable aging. Your nervous system isn't failing, it's adapting to new requirements that differ from when you were younger. Giving it the right support at the right times helps it function at its best, regardless of age. The research backs this approach. Regular exercise, even just 30 minutes daily, is one of the most effective ways to maintain nervous system health. Combining this with the Mind diet and proper sleep creates a powerful defense against age-related decline. These aren't extreme measures or temporary fixes. They're practical, sustainable habits that work with your biology rather than against it. Your fatigue and brain fog might feel like personal failures, but they're actually signs that your nervous system needs different care than it did decades ago. This 24-hour reset plan meets those needs without demanding unrealistic changes. Tomorrow morning, start with just one piece, 3 minutes of deep breathing in sunlight. From there, build gradually as you notice what works best for you. Your nervous system didn't become overloaded overnight, and it won't reset instantly either. But with daily attention to these rhythms, you'll be surprised how much better your body can feel when given the right conditions to thrive. So if you've been feeling more tired than usual, if your mornings feel heavier, your thoughts slower, and even simple things seem to drain you, it's not because you're weak, and it's definitely not a failure on your part. It's your body talking. Fatigue, forgetfulness, the sense of slipping or just a little more each week, these aren't random. They're signals. Clear, intelligent responses from a system that's been running nonstop, quietly holding everything together. Your nervous system isn't giving up. It's just asking for help. And the beauty is, it doesn't need a complete overhaul, just a small act of support. Tomorrow morning, take 3 minutes, sit by the window, let your body breathe. Not from the chest, not shallow and rushed, but slow, full, grounded breaths. Let the sunlight touch your skin. Let the silence greet you before the noise of the day begins. Because those 3 minutes, they're not just breathing, they're a message to your nervous system. You're safe now. You're not alone. You can rest and reset. Growing older changes the rules, yes, but it doesn't take away your power. You still hold the playbook. You can still choose how your story unfolds. And sometimes it all begins with one breath. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who might be quietly struggling too, and leave a comment. What's one thing your body has been trying to tell you lately? Let's start a quiet revolution, one breath, one reset at a time.